Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me, busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail. Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Super welcome. Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Welcome to Sheer Alchemy with my co-host, in the house, my co-host, Leslie Fonteyne. I got to tell you, this topic today, and I was saying to Leslie before the show, is I don't know how she does it, but I think we do. I think we've been hanging out long enough to know. Today's topic, are you ready for this, everybody? I know Benny is. How long are you ready, Betty? Change take. How long does change take? Now, why is this an important topic? It's super important. And I'm going to let you hear from Leslie all about it. Now, for those of you out there, in case you're not sure who Leslie is, let me give you a snippet. She is the creator of Sheer Alchemy. Boom. Transformation catalyst, travels the world, works with people one-on-one, intuitive, energetic gifts. That's what she has. And here's the key word. Helps catapult listeners and the people she works with, right? Are you ready? Into living the life that you were truly born to manifest. That's the key word. Not deal with, not settle for, manifest. So when it's about shifting from scarcity to abundance, from emotional pain into joy, from illness into wellness, Leslie is the one to help us figure out how this is going to happen. So for you out there today, she is also now doing a phenomenal breakthrough workshop, which we're going to tell you about throughout the show today. She happens to have, I believe, several seats open for those of you that are thinking, why didn't I hear about this before? And you know why? Because you probably wanted to hear today's show. How long does the change take? Leslie, it's great to have you here. Before we jump into this, can you just welcome to the show? Let's tell people about the workshop, and thank you for reminding us that you probably still have a few seats left.
I do. We've done one session, but everything's recorded. Hi, everybody. This is Leslie. It's called Empowering Your Soul Path, the Path to Powerful Manifestation. And this is important because a lot of times, we think we've got to look outside ourselves, go somewhere else to get what we need. And this is how to do it yourself, how to empower yourself and learn some of the tools, that perhaps you admire in other people and you notice, gosh, how did they get so good at all that and learn all that? Well, that's what we're doing. And in 4 power-packed sessions, you are going to come out with the tools you need to step into that. And it's every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's a teleclass. You can join from wherever you are. If you're interested, go to my website. And this is a fantastic chance if you're ready to go to the next level.
I love it. And the website is lesliefontaine.com. And, certainly you can go out there and Google that. You could also Google Sheer Alchemy and you'll get there. And it's Leslie, F as in Frank, ONTEYNE.com. Or go to Transformation Talk Radio, click on her show banner, her picture. Let's get it done. Leslie, how long does change take? How long?
I'm telling you, sometimes it's in a sub-second and sometimes it's years, isn't it?
Oh, boy.
I know. What's the deal with that?
That's my question. And, sometimes we believe we are not actually active players in it. So can we start with that little tidbit where
perfect.
We're waiting?
Well, it's interesting. You'll talk to many people, and sometimes, if they're trying to sound peaceful and meditative and all that, and they wanted something, they go, well, it just wasn't meant to be. And you hear that and you go, "Hi, that sounds so resigned. That just sounds so like what? Not powerful." And, many of us get inspired ideas all the time. And if we were in some families, perhaps we had people roll their eyes every time we got another great idea. "Oh, I think I'm going to try this. I think I'm going to do this. I think I'm going to do that." And perhaps those people in our lives saw us not actually make that thing happen. And so we developed a reputation of not, coming through. And I'm on the other side of that. I want to talk about what happens when we get a divinely inspired idea, an inspiration to create something, do something, go to another country, create another job, whatever it is, and what happens along the way. I have a whole CD on this called Stepping Through an Intention, because people don't know what to do when the block shows up. So, and what's the block about anyway, right? Is it growth? Is it a lesson? Is it there to stop me? Is it like, "Oh, don't go there"? That's what we want to talk about.
Yeah, let's talk about what do we do when, are you ready? We're afraid. We're paralyzed. I've been there. I mean, the whole crust-busting idea was because, Leslie, I got to tell you, I could not, in 2002, 2003, I could not get off the couch. I was like a big ball of crust. I couldn't get out, and I was clueless. So I want to hear, this is you bringing this message to the forefront. What do we do?
Right. Well, let's just walk through some steps, that make sense for people, because I like to contextualize it in terms of our own real lives, right?
Yeah.
So we get an idea. Now, when the idea comes, the inspiration comes, it's in the middle of whatever, right? It's in the middle of real life. It's not coming in the perfect moment where everything is just tra-la-la, beautiful all around us. It can be coming right in the middle of the storm. Right?
Right.
So here's this thing coming in, and you feel like an alien for a moment, right? You feel like, okay, I must be from outer space because there is a whole other world going on around me, and I'm looking at it, but inside of here, I'm feeling really excited about something, and it just got downloaded to me. So step number one is it's showing up at the time that life is happening already. The part we miss is saying yes. The part we miss is right after that, we say yes. And, to your analogy, you may not get off the couch when you say yes. Right. You may still be on the couch for another day, 2, 6 months, whatever, but you've said yes, right? What does that do? That starts shifting the energy in a direction, right? It gets the ship turned toward that thing. The next set of things that happen, whether they show up as blocks or they show up as opportunities or they show up as this wonderful person who just comes in because you said yes and now you actually see them there, those things show up based on our energy. And they show up either to cause us to grow and shift through something. And this is where I talk about same energy, different outfit. If we've been here before over and over again, or if we stop at the same place over and over again, this is the growth moment. And it's coming around again not to punish you, but to allow you to actually step through it to come to the next thing that you're to do.
I love this topic today for a lot of reasons, Leslie. I mean, people have said, and I'm not a numerologist, so I don't really understand it. They said this is a 9-year. This is a year to complete things. We came out of the gate with a theme called accelerated expansiveness and had no idea what we were calling into our consciousness. I would love to ask you about, how do we literally look at the world that we're in? And sometimes things show up, Leslie, that we actually don't want. And we think, oh, my gosh, I didn't ask for that. Or did I? Wait.
Right. That's the trick, right? Because when we start down that path, that yellow brick road, that thing that we're going to step into, things start to show up that have blocked us before. And often it's tied to wounds. Often it's tied to expectations. Well, my life, there's always something going on, or whatever it is that we continuously attract. If we continually attract abusers or people who talk over us or people who are dismissive or don't listen, then there's a part of us that's devaluing within. So each of these blocks, each thing that shows up, we have to ask ourselves and say, wow, what in me is in agreement with that? What in me is allowing that? Believes that is actually the natural course. Because I want to tell you, I have many secret pockets where I don't want to step into the responsibility either. So one thing we find out is, one, how powerful we are, that we could walk away, and two, we find out that there's responsibility and consequences that come with stepping into any dream that we have. But we make it so bad. So what I want to talk about in the next part of the show is responsibility is not like a big, bad R word. It's a good thing because it's calling you to step into your greatness, your power, your awesomeness. But you have to let go of this other part of you that goes, oh, my God, what if I can't? What if I'm not that great? What if I'm not that special? Well, we are. So that's the neat thing about some of these wounds we step through.
I love this. We're going to take a short break when we come back. What is it about responsibility and stepping into it that leads to another word? Results. Results we want. And, what is it that Leslie is bringing to the table for us to look at? That stuckness. You think maybe underneath there might be a little wound or two going on. Well, that's for Leslie. She's going to talk about that. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to tell you a little bit more, remind you about this fabulous workshop she's doing. This show today, change. How long does change take? We want it when? Like now, if not yesterday. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Brand consultant and coach Jen Morgan is here with Radically Distinct Radio to help maximize your brand's power to produce results. Whether you're a person with a dream and unsure where to start, or a CEO of a successful company wondering what's next, Jen Morgan and the RAD method empowers you to play to your strengths and focus your competitive edge so you can show up in the world as your most powerful brand. Go to jenmorgan.com or call 206-972-5366.
Are you feeling stagnant or blocked in your love life, career, health, or finances? Experiencing difficulty focusing or setting and achieving goals? Tune in to Spiritual Diagnostics Radio with psychic visionary healers Carol Dorian and Suzanne Evans. Discover the cause and effect of unwanted patterns in life. Tune in every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio. For more information, visit spiritualdeed.com.
Get ready to experience Truth Talk Radio with host Deb Acker. Tune in to Truth Talk Radio each Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com to illuminate the truth in your daily life as you experience life, love, and abundance from a whole new perspective. This hit show will leave you feeling lighter and bring you into a place of infinite possibilities every day in every way. Visit TruthTalkRadioshow.com for upcoming transformative topics and guests.
Holistic Medical Center is where you find it all. A healthy space with doctors who care, see, and listen to the whole you. Hi, this is Dr. Darvish. If you have not found an answer to your chronic symptoms, you will find answers here at Holistic Medical Center. Our doctors find the root cause of your symptoms and guide your body towards healing naturally. We transform lives from within. Visit drdarvish.com or call 425-451-0404.
Artie Hoffman is the hottest psychic with the warmest heart and the host of the hit show Angels and Answers. A renowned psychic, medium, spiritual life coach, and an entertaining motivational speaker, Artie has helped over 15,000 people with his amazing intuitive gifts, his passion, and his humor. Call 877-ANGEL-02 to schedule a personal reading or to have your own psychic Artie party. That's 877-ANGEL-02. And visit artiehoffman.com and Angels and Answers on Facebook. Wow. Hey, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. This is Talk Radio to Thrive By. I'm telling you, I got to pinch myself some days because when each of us gets called to do something that we so not thought was in our wheelhouse to do for a purpose that's so much greater than us, we get to show up and shine.
you would like to show up and shine on the Dr. Pat Show as a co-host or sponsor, send us an email to inspire@thedrpatshow.com.
She's the only one that I've been dreaming of. Maybe someday she will be all mine. I want to tell her that I love her so. I threw with her every time.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. You know, this is really great. Yeah, Sheer Alchemy. Leslie Fonteyne is in the house. Leslie, before we talk about responsibility, you know, please remind folks again about the workshop that you're doing and what the opportunity is for people to really make some changes.
Well, absolutely. You know, empowering our own soul path. Sometimes people think this spirituality thing should take 15 minutes and we'll have it down. And, you know, just like everything else in life, there's things we have to learn. There's things we have to practice. So already I'm getting fabulous emails from my current students that are getting fabulous results already from the first class. So if you want to learn how to, you know, bring in the angels, work with your higher self, work with your gifts, find out what your gifts are, learn how to clear your own blocks, it's an amazing opportunity to take on that challenge. So what difference does it make? It changes everything in your life and in your day. So go to my website, lesliefontaine.com. You'll find it there under teleclasses. You can do it from the comfort of your own home.
I love it. You know, one of the things that it's been a real lesson for me is what you talked about before we went to break, and that's responsibility. It is a word that when people hear it, they just cringe. And they go to this place, oh, my gosh, really? One more thing? Let's talk about, you know, this idea of responsibility and manifestation and how they work together or not.
Absolutely. You know, you're so right. That word has such a negative tone to it through no fault of its own, honestly. We've just given it that sound, right? And like you said, pile one more thing on me. The difference is that this is your own responsibility. This is responsibility for self. This is responsibility for who you are. It's not taking on someone else's stuff. And that's why we hit so many blocks when we have a vision or a desire or something that we want to create, because we hit all these places within us that feel undeserving, that feel like, well, who, me? Do I know enough to do that? Well, what if I don't have the education? What if I don't have the money? And we start listing out all these things, and it's so much easier to work on someone else's project, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So much easier.
Yeah, it is.
But when it's me and my own, I'm going straight into some wounds. I'm going straight into some beliefs about self. And that's what's so glorious, is that this is what you've asked for. Say yes this time, and don't think of it as some heavy burden that's going to happen to you. Think about it as this awesome moment where you've said yes to yourself.
How do we detect what's going on? And, you know, how do we figure it out? And what I mean by that question, Leslie, is, you know, how do I figure out that there may be something here that is calling itself forth to heal?
Oh, boy. That is such a really deep and thoughtful question. You know, I would almost say that everything coming up is related to that. So I step onto a path. I start, you know, maybe I start a project, or I start writing a book, or I initiate some action items to take. And I start feeling in my body some things that are either painful, resistant, recoiling, averse. And I have to immediately check in and go, what is that about? So the question that one asks oneself is, what is not feeling right? What is not feeling good? And often what we've learned is to cover it up and put a smile on it, rather than take a look at what it's tweaking. So if it's tweaking something that says, wow, no one will help me, no one loves me enough to help me, every time I look for help, people say no, that's going to the depths of a truth that you've lived to this point. So now we go, do I want to shift that? Do I want to clear that? And do I want to draw in the support? Do I want to draw in what I need this time? And can I step into it? Whose voice is that? Is that some parent, some teacher? Am I ready to let go of that agreement with that voice? I no longer want to agree with that. So everything becomes a lesson. But the lesson isn't to add more pain. You may feel some when you see that wound. It's to relieve you of it.
You know, here we are, and we wonder for ourselves, what is going on here? I'm sitting here. I want it now. I want the new experience to unfold immediately. It is just making me totally stressed out. When is it going to happen? When is it going to be done? And, you know, we went through this in our this year with our technology. Mm-hmm. It was like, okay, when is it going to be done? When is it going to be done? And what we realized is we were responsible for the fact that it was taking longer because we wanted to get more features in it. But, you know, you forget that you're asking for more.
Right. That's exactly it. And, you know, often when we are in a hurry with an expectation, it's because we don't want to feel pain. You know, and that's a real interesting topic right there. Mm-hmm. When I'm in a hurry, you know, it could be I'm in a hurry to meet the love of my life, in a hurry to get the new job, in a hurry for the money to come in a hurry for, you know, the new technology or the new book or the new project, whatever it is to get through this moment of pain, to not have to feel it. To not have to be in this place because we've not, remember our inner child, I say often, couldn't drive a car, had no money, had no power, couldn't leave home, absolutely powerless, okay? So when we hear that part of ourselves, let's remember who that is, all right? And say, now look, we're going to take care of this. Let's step back a bit and take a look at the situation. What's really going on here? None of us would like to look at our pain and go, oh my God, am I acting that small? Am I being that little? Am I being that powerless? Am I really? And we're not. So we have to kind of sort out all these things within ourselves and then go, all right, what are the delays? I love what you said. We created it because we wanted more features. Yeah. Well, you know what? We have competitive desires, and one of them has been to heal. So if we want to draw in the love of our life, for example, we want to draw in someone that's a soul match. Do we have to clean some things up? We might. Do we want to draw them in the condition we're in now or, you know, our better selves? Are we wanting to draw in a caretaker or a partner? You know, we have to look at all this.
And, you know, this is really something you've talked about before, Leslie, and that is this idea of clarity. We think that by being in this place of, let me just call it impatience, for lack of a better word, that if we're in this place of impatience and we start to hold on to the idea of, I want it now, isn't that actually the opposite energy? Isn't that more like a scarcity energy? And you know, can you talk about what the emotions are that's behind that?
Oh, yeah, it's panic, it's fear, it's the expectation, it's the anxiety, like who am I without it, and who am I waiting for it, and who am I with it? And we have a perception of all those things. We also have a very strong perception of source betrayal, and I work with this in my clients all the time. No one wants to talk about God betraying us. You're like, if I'm going to be spiritual, I better not talk like that. There are realities to that. There are many of us going, yeah, you're out there. Where the hell were you when? Okay? So we have this whole thing, I'm on my own. No one's going to help me. I work with so many people coming from abuse, coming from being the oldest child, taking care of all their siblings, coming from very dysfunctional homes, and the perception is nobody's going to come through for me. I have to do it all. So if you start like that and you see no help around, why would you say yes to your vision? Why would you say yes to your desire? You're like, no one's going to help me. I need help. No one's going to give me the money. I need money. Nobody's going to support me. I need support. So if that is our belief system and our energy field and everything that's coming out, that's when we want the healing. That's when we want to go in and say, are we ready to shift it? Why do people not shift? They don't believe it can happen. They don't think it's real. And then, next topic, who will I be without those things? Then I really will have to do it. Uh-oh.
You know, Leslie, I want to ask you about this idea of change and how long it takes and what your thoughts are about having something in your consciousness that you want to manifest, yet the thing that actually shows up is not the same as what you thought it would be, meaning that you've got an idea of X showing up, but Y shows up, and then you scratch your head. How do I now accept this?
Right. Well, honestly, you're asking another one of your awesome questions, which is, where am I in my consciousness? Where am I in my awareness? Let's say, that we draw in a certain kind of job, or we want to draw in a partner, and we bring the partner. We've got all these criteria. And then we get something, and it requires work, and it requires shifting, and there's a lot of buttons that get hit, and, oh, my God, this is upsetting me so much. And then we think, well, that couldn't be God, because I wouldn't be upset if that's what's happening. And then because we think the flip side means, well, I don't think my spiritual beliefs don't say I should have any pain. Well, good luck with that, because our path to rising consciousness is always shifting. So we're going to shift through the hurts to heal them, and every time we heal, we raise our vibration, we become more conscious, we become more aware. So instead of looking at, like, I didn't ask for you to come into my life, it's more like, what in me agreed with that? What in me is allowing that? Because I wanted to draw in something that would take me to my next lesson. The next thing that happens in humanity is we look at everything in terms of permanence. We go, okay, I'm going to be married forever, I'm going to have this forever, I'm going to stay at this job forever. We bring things into completion. We bring lessons into completion. So we don't need to have these rigid rules about how long something stays in our lives. Many of us have completed certain lessons we don't have to do again.
Yeah.
We don't have to repeat those anymore.
Yeah.
So when you're stepping into a greater vision, there's more responsibility with it. There's more, I'm sure you've gone through so much with the technology shifts, in your organization. So there's ripple effects about growth and transition and transformation. But if you're fully conscious, you're going, wow, I really asked for this. I really wanted this platform. It's taking a lot of the team to step into it and to create this thing. Are we willing to go there? And there's so many things like that come up.
Absolutely. Here's what we get to do when we come back from break. We get to connect the dots. I can't tell you how many times people say to me, I don't know, we don't actually know how we heard about you, but it is about connecting the dots. Dots you can't even see sometimes. When we come back, Leslie's going to talk about, wait a minute, delay. What do? Do you stay in the delay, or do you do something else? When does delay mean, oopsie, probably not the way you want to go? Or maybe it's just a delay. That's what Leslie's going to talk about. We'll be right back.
I feel like new sunglasses, like a brand new pair of jeans.
It's that time of the year again. The Woman of Wisdom Fall Harvest Festival is right around the corner. Join us on October 1st from 10:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. at North Seattle Community College Conference Center. Admission is free. Festivities include arts and crafts, energy healers, intuitive readers, delicious food, and more. Don't miss this fun-filled event. For more information, visit womanofwisdom.org. That is womanofwisdom.org, and we'll see you there.
Transformation Talk Radio is dedicated to the education and awareness of Lyme disease.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Lyme Talk Radio. I'm Dr. Pat, joined here by
Dr. Nusheen Darvish.
Dr. Pat Basili and Dr. Nusheen Darvish will be bringing the most innovative, groundbreaking information, research, treatment innovations, and stories from those it affects every day.
I'm so excited to be talking about this.
We have so much to share.
Dr. Darvish and I are planning to do is connect the dots.
People suffering with all sorts of chronic diseases, it's time. It is time for them to transform.
Tune into Lyme Talk Radio and help keep our mission strong.
For the loyal listeners out there that have been listening to this incredible show on Lyme disease, we are not going to let you down. We're going to come through stronger and enrich the platform for Lyme disease awareness through Lyme Talk Radio. The message will continue, the conversations will become stronger, and the healing epic.
Are you sick of feeling overworked with no motivation? Take a break from the daily grind. Life coach Nicole Eisler is here to provide a healing journey of optimism. Passionate and caring, Nicole is no ordinary soul. Her dedication to helping everyone has no limit. Witness the power of positivity. Tune in every first and third Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific for Positivity Party Radio with Nicole Eisler on Transformation Talk Radio. For more information, visit BigDreamAwakening.com.
Tune in to the Michael Shane Show the third Tuesday of each month at 11 a.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com and connect with the ascended beings to raise your vibration and manifest the life you desire. Get ready to receive healing through the transphysical mediumship of Reverend Michael Shane and the ascended beings. Visit MichaelShane.com. That's MyChael, Shane.com, and call 425-971-6632 to schedule your full healing session now.
Have you been seeing numbers like 111 and 222 everywhere you go? Do you feel that the universe may be trying to get your attention, perhaps offering a message of some sort? As it turns out, numerical patterns and certain types of geometry form the very fabric of our reality, from cells under a microscope to the astronomy of our night sky. At Stellar Reflections, we offer special sessions which tap into these patterns, designed specifically to support you on your journey. The 111 and 222 activations are sessions activating new patterns in your energy field, which in turn can help you create new patterns in your life. After just one session with a practitioner, either in person or via distance, clients report gaining greater clarity, becoming more intuitive, and honoring their inner truth as they move forward in their lives. Curious about what these transformational sessions might do for you? Call 425-999-9836 or visit StellarReflections.com. That's StellarReflections.com.
I feel like windows roll down new city streets and cabs. I feel like anything can happen.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Sheer Alchemy with Leslie Fonteyne, and as I said before, if you go to Leslie's website, you're going to see an opportunity for you to join the team there, take the workshop, and let me just make sure you have the website, lesliefontaine.com, and it's Leslie with Leslie Fonteyne, F as in Frank, ONTEYNE.com. Check it out, or just Google Leslie, Google Sheer Alchemy, and you will get there. Leslie, I love this topic. I mean, we started out the conversation, how long does change take?
Yes.
Exploring it, but now we're in the delay. And we know it's a delay. We believe it's a delay. We don't believe it's the universe and good timing and all of that business.
Well, I want to bring out the B word now. Not the one you think. Bravery. Bravery.
Yeah.
So, this is where you go where no one else has gone before. You go into what is the delay about? Is it a delay? What have I been working on? Sometimes I'll work with clients and I may be channeling and doing some psychic work with them, and they'll go, nope, that's not it. No, that's not what happened. No. And then 2 days later, it's like, oh, my God, that's everything that happened. That's exactly how it was. So we have this part of us that doesn't want to look at what is creating the delay, nor do we want to see all the progress we've really made in that direction. We don't want to see the things we've overcome or how great we're doing on the path, how many things we have accomplished. Maybe the timeline has been extended. Now, that's one scenario. The other scenario could be you just quit and you don't want to admit it, or you've switched your mindset and said, it's not happening, forget it. You've created a very rigid expectation of outcome where, when Source and the universe are creating something for you, you have to take your hands off of the multitude, unlimited ways the solution is going to come to you. And if you can't do that and you only go, no, it's got to be sequential, got to be linear, got to work out like this, got to look like that, then you are limiting how the solution can come to you. So there's lots of ways that it works, but ultimately this is all about raising consciousness, shifting our energy, creating growth, creating something that is good for the earth, good for the world. We're on a spiritual show, so we're not talking about just, other people in corporate America doing something. We're talking about us doing this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the energy of it matters. You've been around people that have really sucky energy, and they create something, and it's like, ugh. You're creating something that has a lot of positivity to it, a lot of enhancement to the earth to it, goodness, light. People want to be around you. People want what you have. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah. This is such a cool conversation. I have the belief, Leslie, that I live in a benevolent world and there's a benevolent universe, and I believe in a benevolent higher power. That's just my belief. Has I always believed that? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But what does that mean? How quickly can I go sideways when all of a sudden I come up with the idea that no, maybe it's not a benevolent blah, blah, blah. How am I setting myself up to miss the level of opportunity or awareness that might be in front of me that I absolutely am blind to?
Well, this is your journey, and that may be what's showing up on your journey. Mm-hmm. Everybody's got one. Like I mentioned, I've worked with people that have had so much difficult, horrible circumstances in life, and then no sooner do they get up, they get slapped with something else.
Mm-hmm.
And when I watch them over time, over a year, over 2 years, start to shift that, I'm blown away, because sometimes even I think, gosh, is this going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
And I watch them make that shift. So the willingness to go into what our perceptions are, what our expectations are, what we want the end result to be. And often, don't just stop there. Ask, what is it that I think the end result will do for me? What will it say about me? Am I looking for other people's approval? Am I looking for money so that I can go get something so that I look really, really good in life?
Mm-hmm.
Am I thinking that my parents will think I'm a failure because I haven't achieved these things? We have to look at what it is that end result will bring to us. And often, we discover many, many things. Like sometimes, I'll say, go to aisle 13 in the grocery store. I don't need anything there. I go there and I meet someone that I needed to meet that would help me fulfill some part of my effort, some part of my project. And when we tune and we don't follow and we don't listen, then we miss those breaks and opportunities. And then we go report to everyone, this isn't right. It's not working. Nothing's happening. Look, here's the evidence. I've put $10,000 into this. Where am I now? And it's this heavy, hard, angry language. Well, for me, I'd want to go into that part of me and go, wow, what is that about?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd want to heal.
Yeah. Yeah. Boy, I'll tell you, for those of you out there, if you would love to call in and get a little help here today from Leslie and the Ascended Masters and really get to that place where, now I have a better understanding of the place that I'm in, the change that I'm going through. 1-800-930-2819. 1-800-930-2819. We've got some time here left in the show for you to call in, and I believe we'll be able to take the first caller, get you in here really quickly, and have time with Leslie. Yeah, time. Time, Leslie, that thing, that time. Someone made a comment to me the other day, and what they said was, do you find, Pat, that the older you get, the less patience you have for things? And I thought, I had to think about that because I don't really relate to the age thing at all.
Right, exactly.
But that's a great question, though, isn't it?
Well, it is, but of course a lot of things shift in our physical world, but I don't know what's happening in someone's consciousness. Again, you know, I talk often because that's the level at which I work, right? Multiple dimensions. So we could want something in this third dimension here, you know, that's very, you know, physical. In our fourth dimension, we're wanting something else. In our fifth dimension, we're wanting another thing entirely. So when we talk about the economy in higher dimensions, it operates very differently. It's a whole different set of energies. Then we try to squeeze it down into 3D and look successful. Okay, but, you know, again, it's a set of values that I want to go down and go, wow, which part of me is feeling so small, so insecure? Do I want to clear that? Do I want to shift that? I remember when I was first channeling and speaking a lot, and I would get nervous, like, oh, gosh, am I going to do all right? And it was like Source had to come through and go, this isn't about you. This is about opening your channel as wide as possible and allowing it to flow through. And I released all of the fears of my imperfections and my speaking abilities and my nervousness and all this stuff. I let go of all that because I knew that's what that meant. And so sometimes if we can release what the outcome's about, the desire is taking us into a place, 9 times out of 10 it's going to manifest if we're able to release. I had clients this weekend that said, could you just please do a CD on how to release?
Yeah, I agree.
And so think about your path toward your goal and all the things that you've changed within yourself. And here's the thing. We devalue it because we think we don't matter.
Yeah. Leslie, we have talked about so very much today that's so important. And actually, we have a caller Benny is, going to connect us with in a minute. This idea of change and the stories we begin to tell ourselves about them, meaning here we are, you and I are talking about this today, and there will be many, many, perhaps, interpretations of what is being said. And I would like to ask you, is there, quote, in our vernacular, a punchline? Is there one thing? And I know that part of the answer is we're not all one thing. We're not all the same. But is there something that, we might say to somebody about what they might be going through with these changes? I mean, the expression in the commercial, are we there yet? Are we there yet, Leslie? Leslie, are we there yet?
Well, often I stop and I go, tell me about you. Tell me about who you are and what you're stepping into. Don't go into the nuts and bolts of your agenda. Just tell me about you and what you're creating and what you feel about your path. And as the story unfolds, I'm reading their energy. That's what I do in sessions. While people are talking, I read the energy and I go, wow, where are you feeling it? Because I'm getting it for you right now in your power center, that you're white-knuckling it, feeling very small, pushing, and resistant, and you're tired of fighting that hard, and you're exhausted. So, that's where I go with a lot of this stuff, because that's what Source is doing. It's like healing us along the way. We're going to get there. So those delays, how long it's taking, that's all about us. Sometimes we got dual agendas going on. One of us wants to be at the beach, one of us wants to be at the mountain. we have to clear this up.
Oh my gosh, you must have been sitting in there listening to a couple of conversations I had here this weekend.
Well,
it's part of it. And we all have different perspectives on things and different perspectives on life. And, I think one of the things that I want to ask you about is, I know you're doing this workshop, and I want to talk about this if we could for a minute, and perhaps even skip the break. This is something you've been calling forth to do and share with people. I would love for you to talk a little bit about what this workshop is going to help people do, because I don't think there are any mistakes that you're doing it. I think there's absolutely, something calling this forth. I'd love for you to talk about that for a minute.
I do a lot of shows, and I meet a lot of people, and, we go to experts. We go to people we think will help us. We go to psychic readers. We go to, people that are our accountants and CPAs and, lawyers, and we go to these experts. And we haven't learned to bring those lessons inside ourselves. We haven't learned to become masters ourselves. And that's what I'm teaching. I find a lot of my clients have more mastery than they even realize, but no one's helped them validate it. No one's helped show them, wow, you really are connected. You really do hear. You really do know what you desire to do. You really do have a sense of what you're good at and what you'd like to step into. But no one's ever validated it for you, and all your life lessons before this have been to invalidate you. So you go and do things you hate and that make you miserable, and you don't know how to turn the ship around. So this is about really helping people understand how much power and awareness they really do have, holding space for that, and then showing them how to progress along that path. See, they always knew, but they weren't entirely sure that the tools they were picking up were right. And we got a lot of right-wrong thinking in this world, as you know. So it's a fantastic class to start down, and then I have further classes on mastery after that.
And, this is really part of the journey. What do you think, Leslie, about this idea of accelerated expansiveness? And then I've just shared that here we find ourselves with some items taking, let me add this, longer than what we thought. Mm-hmm. Longer than what we thought. So this is really the part where we get to reconcile this. This is like what you said before. Wait a minute. Do we want to go to the beach or do we want to go to the mountains? There's a level of reconciliation. Maybe you can help us with that.
Well, I have people tell me, well, I want this, but this is how it has to happen. Oh. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, why does it have to happen that way? So you go to the bottom of that, and you realize it's so based in fear, insecurity, abandonment, all these things that have nothing to do with the goal or the desire. So there's always that short-circuiting. There's always that kind of inner sabotage. We ultimately are learning that we're driving this bus. Now what do I want to create? Sometimes, you may not want to pick up the phone because you're afraid of the other person. You're afraid of their energy, like some part of you can't handle it. And you have to go into that and go, wow, do I want to heal that or do I want to stay in avoidance the rest of my life? So when we start down a path, the vision may not be a mistake. It may be the best way for us to heal from these things. And then I love what you shared, that along the way new requirements came in maybe for certain projects, and they weren't there in the beginning, and they slowed things down, but they were necessary. Mm-hmm. So we all have detours along the way that either support someone else in our life or that we had to learn a skill set in order to achieve that ultimate goal. We always say hindsight's 20/20. Well, sometimes that's true. We can see after the fact, wow, I really did need all those lessons along the way to get here.
Yeah, and Leslie, let's talk about this idea when we bring it to the forefront, if we could. The idea of tips. How first of all, I now recognize what I'm delaying my own progress. Okay, but what can I do? Is there a way? Are there things we could learn to help move things faster? Well, and the bottom line is not feel so stuck. I don't want to feel stuck. That's really what's really bugging me, right?
Right. We can heal fast. We could get there in 10 minutes and right now if we wanted to. That's teleporting. That's transmuting our energy. We could do that. The problem is that sometimes we don't want to heal from the fear very fast. We don't want to go into the pain because many of us have learned our pain will kill us. It doesn't, but we've learned that. And we don't want to have to look at flaws and imperfections. And then, someone thinks we're criticizing the family. We're not criticizing the family. Relax. We're looking at energy and where we've, carried our loyalty to an extreme. Or, there's so many rules people have in their lives that they don't recognize until someone brings it to their awareness. So we can heal as fast as we want to. But, sometimes speed, going too fast, is more than our little transformers can handle. So we have to kind of take a look and go, wow, I may need a weekend on this one. I may need another few months on this one. Or I'm not ready to step into my dream. I really do want to take care of my kids first before I start becoming a full-time entrepreneur. That is legitimate. But then we want to beat ourselves up because we didn't become an entrepreneur at the same time. So those are the double binds. Let's just relax and go, why am I thinking I got to do it now? Or why am I thinking that it's either or? I can't gradually ramp up. Why have I made up all these rigid rules? So there are many ways we can move faster, many ways. It's up to us, but we have to say yes faster. We have to be willing to go through the shifts faster, and we have to allow other people to grow, too, in our families and our friends. And, many of us know when we transform, sometimes we lose our friends.
Yeah, we do, don't we? I mean, I know I went through that phase. And our friends, our family, maybe, Leslie, even a relationship that ends, right? I mean, that is not out of the picture, is it?
No, it's not. It's not at all. And that's where I said earlier, it's not some horrible ending. We're bringing things into completion. If you grow and shift and other people don't grow with you and they choose deliberately to not come with you and to not honor your energy where you are now, then you're bringing that into completion. You agreed to that earlier. But now in your life, you're in a better place. So you have to understand that when you shift, there are consequences, but other people may shift with you. So don't just go, okay, I'm going to lose my family. No, you're not. But when you shift and when you grow, other people are challenged to do the same.
Well, it's like my grandma used to say, Leslie, my Italian grandma, when I would be in the kitchen with her and she taught me how to make gravy, spaghetti sauce, right? But we called it gravy. And it took 2 days to make. I remember my grandma doing her own experiment and let me eat the spaghetti sauce before it was done. When I wanted to eat it, like after 3 hours, I wanted to eat it. I wanted it. And I ate it, and I thought, and I turned to my grandma, and I said, Grandma, this is not your gravy. This is not good. I did. I remember saying to my grandma, this is not good. And then she smiled and would laugh and said something in Italian that I don't even know. But the point was, she let me go through it and have it before it was ready. I got to tell you, Leslie, that was the last time I ever said that to my grandma.
Wow. No, that is a perfect story, but that's like, 2020, right? We know afterwards.
Afterwards.
So if Source is taking us down a path and we're saying yes and the universe is supplying things that we don't understand, can we go along? Can we trust? Is it faith? Yes, in a way it is, because so is intuitive guidance. You're trusting. But then on the other side, you do see and you do learn and you have the awareness that it's much better gravy on the other side.
It's much better gravy on the other side, and I love this analogy. I just thought of it, as you were speaking, because there's a level of acidity in how you go about this and make this that doesn't exist the next day. The acidity is gone. We've now detoxed my grandma's gravy at some level. But isn't that really what might have to happen along the way to the change we want as well?
It absolutely does. And, if anyone is asking if we're talking about pure enjoyment, we're not. So waiting can be hard. The unfoldment of our dream is not always joyous. But to then think that because it's not always joyous, it must not be, that is not correct. Allow yourself to walk through the transformations and come to the other side. And don't be so hard on yourself, when you don't fit that perfect picture you had in your mind of how you should look and how it should be. Because you've said yes to the universe supplying in its amazing way how to get you to the goal that you've set.
Yeah, so the idea of feeling helpless, hopeless, and powerless, those are energies that literally can be transformed.
Yeah, absolutely. But, is it like rapidly? I find so many people like, if I heal from this wound, I'm criticizing my parents. Right. They did the best they could. So you see how these things get hooked together and get complicated for us, right?
Yeah.
So, again, have some patience with the unfolding of your healing as you go. And then on the other side, you're going to see that whatever took the time it took, it was okay. Can you speed it up? Of course you can. But we've given some examples, of what can happen.
I love it. Leslie, thank you for today. Before we wrap it up, personal message, of course. And please tell folks again how they can join you for this fabulous workshop you're doing.
Well, first of all, saying yes to yourself is a gift to yourself, and allow yourself the healing that you so deserve. So don't get afraid when it's painful. Allow the unfoldment to happen. And if you want to know anything about the sessions I do, the workshops, or where I'm going to be next, you can go to my website, lesliefonteyne.com. You can also reach out to me, 678-665-3366. That's 678-665-3366.
Awesome. Personal message, what would you like to leave us with today?
Everybody is doing so much better than they think they are, but we've got to take our judgments off of how other people perceive us and put it onto what we are stepping through. And I think we're going to be amazed at what we can accomplish.
I love it. Leslie Fonteyne, everyone. You can go to lesliefontaine.com. And, you know, part of this is signing up for yourself. And what I mean by that is, as Leslie talked about today in the show, we are active players in the journey of change. We're going to take a short break, everyone. We'll be right back.